Hi, this is Diana from Pure IP. Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Today I'm joined by the Webex experts Julian and Brian, and we will spend the next 30-45 minutes or so talking about the Webex platform, Webex Calling, Webex Contact Center. If we have some time, we'll talk about the Control Hub as well. If you have any questions at all, please post them in chat. We will either get to them live or we'll answer on chat. Brian, Julian, welcome. Do you want to introduce yourselves and maybe tell us a bit about your role?
Hi, Diana. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm Brian Wilson. I lead a group of partner sellers here at Cisco, focusing on collaboration and really evangelism and adoption along the service provider community. Pure IP and BCM1 obviously being a key part of our success and a great partnership. And so I've been at Cisco since about 2018. I have a technical background, but now I lead a sales team.
Thank you, Brian. Julian?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Julian Presso. I'm a technical solutions architect, and I work in Cisco's EMEA partner collaboration team. So, like Brian, I'm working with service providers and and other partners, and really trying to help partners adopt sort of WebEx practice and sell WebEx, in particular Webex Calling, into the market. I've been at Cisco actually for nearly 25 years, so I've worked a long time on collaboration and on sort of voice. Obviously initially with our premises-based solutions, and then hosted, and then also cloud now.
Thank you, Julian. Let's get this started then. I thought we would start by just giving the users an overview, a very high-level overview of the Webex platform. I don't know, Brian, if you'd like to start, just let us know what Webex is, how is it used, where are the data centers, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, Diana, for giving Julian and I the opportunity to meet with you and your partners that are on the webinar. So what is Webex, right? What is the platform? I think I'll start with sort of the misconception that Webex is Webex meetings and meetings only. It kind of has a little bit of stigma around the brand, which really is no longer true. In fact, here's a hot take. You can hate Webex meetings and never want to be on Webex meetings, but have a wealth of use out of the Webex platform and all the innovation and things that we're doing in it. And so that's one of the things that's very interesting. At Cisco, we've actually taken pretty much all of our calling capabilities. So if you think about our lineage, as Julian described, with on-premises calling, and then we had a BroadWorks or a BroadSoft acquisition, all the things around BroadWorks and BroadCloud and everything like that. And we put that all under the banner, sort of the marketing aspect of Webex. And so it started with a branding approach. Everything is going to be called Webex. We have Webex Calling, which is our cloud solution running in Cisco's data centers version of all of our calling capabilities. And then we took it from just a brand and we said, how do we integrate all these things at a platform level? So if you think about Webex meetings and all the people that use Webex meetings all around the world, and I think Julian's going to talk a little bit about our global coverage. But if you think about our Webex meetings and the market dominance we've had there for forever and ever, of course, COVID brought a lot of new solutions and a lot of new competition. But we have a large set of infrastructure for Webex meetings, and we've added to it with calling, with contact center, with CPaaS capabilities. And all of our AI innovation and the engines that we do to power our AI, our Thousand Eyes integrations and all the things that we're doing with sort of internet intelligence and internet monitoring and how do we do troubleshooting, all of that is integrated into the Webex platform itself. So when we talk about Webex around here, what we really mean are multiple workloads in a single platform approach. And those workloads are calling, contact center, messaging. So our amazing Webex app that is great for kind of like Microsoft Teams, just being able to have team spaces and ad hoc and messaging and things like that. And of course the Webex meetings itself. So all those capabilities together we call the Webex platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just to expand on that. Yeah, just to expand on that, when we say single platform, what that means is we have a single admin portal. which we call Control Hub. We have a single source of identity, which we call common identity. So you provision a user, and then that user you can provide services from from the Webex platform to those users, and we have a single Webex backbone. From a global coverage perspective, we look at Webex Calling in particular. We support that in over 150 countries globally. We have sort of data centers in multiple regions, across the globe. So in North America, we have several data centers in the US, in Canada, in Europe, we have we have them in the European Union, in the UK, out in Asia. We have sort of Japan, Singapore. We also have Australia as well. So it's truly a global platform and global coverage.
Thank you. And in terms of coverage, as you said, you support 150 countries for calling, which is amazing. It's a wide coverage. Is that Webex own PSTN coverage, or is that using different methods of providing PSTN connectivity with external PSTN providers or local SBCs? What are the different options that customers have for that coverage?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, so we have various ways of supporting PSTN. We do, we can support PSTN through just a local gateway. So any customers that have got an existing local PSTN service, they can connect that through a gateway. But one of the things that we're really trying to sell to our customers is cloud PSTN. So we're working closely with with providers like yourselves, like PureIP, who are sort of cloud connected PSTN providers. So we have various sort of certified calling providers, and PureIP are actually one of the few certified calling providers, and also one of the few ones that are sort of global. So obviously, PureIP have got sort of global coverage in the multiple regions. And when I say certified, what that basically means is that PureIP are actually connected directly to Webex Calling in each region, and also have geographic redundancy in each region as well.
That's brilliant. Yes, you're right. So PureIP is one of the cloud-connected PSTN providers with, I believe, 50 PSTN replacement countries, plus additional countries for service numbers that can be used for contact center and so on. But also, I guess, in addition to that, customers, as you said, can use alternative options. Can they combine, like, for example, a cloud-connected PSTN provider with your own PSTN services with local SBC? Is that an option?
Yes.
For a customer
that
is multinational?
Yes, absolutely. So so that's one of the great things is we have that flexibility there. So when you deploy a location for Webex Calling, you could decide what the PSTN option is, and again, that could be a certified cloud calling provider like PureIP. You could even use another cloud calling provider. You could actually use the Cisco Cloud PSTN, which we also have as an option, or you could actually use a local gateway, and you can decide to do that on a per location basis. You could also use Cloud PSTN for PSTN, but you may want to integrate with a local PBX, and then you could also use the gateway for doing that. You can actually configure the dial plan to decide how you want to route calls.
And just to add on to what Julian was saying, the platform itself is really second to none from all competitors' perspective, right? I mean, if you just look at all the options out there, let's say you're a company that does business in India, and you've got office in the European Union, maybe you have a satellite office or something in the United States. How can I manage that from an admin perspective? And we'll talk about Control Hub a little bit later on. But how do I get all of that maybe from one platform, a unified platform? How do I do that? Well, you can connect in India. We have partners in India, but you can also use local gateway, as Julian described, to have local connectivity from a local in presence provider that's terminating somewhere in India, and then pipes those calls into our cloud. Nobody else has that capability, and put that into a cohesive phone system strategy, a PBX strategy with other locations that are in different countries. So that's just one small use case that is very, very powerful. And then, of course, with our partnership with PureIP, you can put everything through a single PSTN provider, you guys, into our platform. In I don't know how many countries is it, Diana?
50. We're doing 50 at the moment. PSTN replacement.
Amazing. Yeah.
Talking about like different options and so on, customers are sometimes worried about call quality and so on. And I know you guys are doing something amazing with AI when it comes to call quality. And there's no webinar nowadays where AI is not used. It is the buzzword. I don't know, Brian or Julian, do you want to talk about what you guys are doing with AI?
Yeah, we've got a lot of things that we're doing with media. I mean, you think the thing with AI right now is everybody wants to talk about language models. If you're not mentioning an LLM or how you're building or integrating an LLM, you know that. But there's a lot more to do with AI than just language, just models themselves. And so we've been working on media for a long time. One of our acquisitions that we made, gosh, it's been years now, probably 4 years ago, called Babel Labs. They have a background noise suppression technology where they're using AI, really machine learning, to look at audio that's just human speech. So if you think about all the noises that can be made and the spectrum within, you know, what that noise could be, human speech is really only in a narrow band. And so we just automatically suppress things that are not within human speech. So we've had this technology for a number of years now where you could take a bag of chips, crinkle the chips in front of your microphone, and it just suppresses it out so that nobody else can hear it. All they hear is human speech. So that's really cool. We've been doing that on Webex meetings for a long time. We've been integrating that onto the audio side, but we said, what if we did that on PSTN? What if we took that technology and put it into the core so that the PSTN calls that you're on within Webex Calling, regardless of wherever you answered that phone call, regardless of whoever called you was on there, can we do that? So sure, we added that, no problem. But we also said, how can we make it better? So we're taking AI, so machine learning to filter out things that are not human speech. Great experience for people. Then we're taking AI and we're saying, what if we take a narrow band audio codec? So for any of those VoIP people that are on the phone, you might think of like a normal PSTN phone call as G711, which is a narrow band codec, or G729, which is a little bit more compressed, you know, sort of fewer kilobits on the wire audio codec, where the voice is good, but you can really tell that you're on a narrow band codec. Kind of think, you know, cell phone calls between carriers or between countries. So how can I take that audio ubiquitously, regardless of where that audio came from, use AI to pump it up to be a wideband codec, to sound something that's more like HD voice, like G722 or what have you. And so we're doing that now also. So if you're on the Webex Calling platform, you'll have the ability to use Optimize for My Voice for even PSTN calls. And then very soon you'll be able to have a narrow band to wideband sort of upscaling of audio. And the really cool thing about that is it makes everything else about what you're doing to that call better. So for example, real-time translations get better because the audio fidelity is higher. Transcriptions for calls are more accurate because the audio fidelity is better. AI automated summaries of calls are better because the transcription is better because the audio has a higher fidelity. So all these things stack on top of each other, and we're really proud of the work that we're doing there on audio intelligence.
Oh, that is very interesting, and I'm sure it's new to many of the people on the call. Thank you. Sorry, Julian.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, we actually announced and will be releasing sort of imminently what we call the new Webex AI codec. So this is actually a sort of quite a revolutionary new AI-based speech codec, which is very unlike, you know, other codecs that we've had up until now. And what we've actually done is use machine learning to basically train a model using sort of millions of hours of speech across multiple languages, and actually use that machine learning to basically effectively learn, learn the sort of speech vectors. So the way the codec works is it will actually sort of map raw audio samples into speech vectors, and then we actually transmit those. And what it really means is we're going to basically be able to get a much higher fidelity audio stream, but also at a much lower bit rate. And you know, we've done sort of lots of sort of tests, and you know, we can get very high fidelity audio at about sort of 1 to 6 kilobits per second in very lossy environments. So we're sort of very excited about that. As I say, we're going to be sort of releasing that for Webex Calling and Webex meetings and our other services as well.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
Julie.
interesting. Can I ask when?
Yeah, we don't have a date yet, Diana, but the demo that I saw on it had really near imperceptible difference in speech. To Julian's point, under 6 kilobits per second with 40% packet loss. So you imagine you're in Starbucks or you're whatever, you're in a super lossy network. You have no idea if people can hear you well. And on the WebEx platform, soon, we don't have it yet, but people will be able to hear you very well. So yeah, up to 40% packet loss with near imperceptible audio quality, which is really fascinating.
That is fascinating. Wow. And I know for a very long time, companies were debating if to move to the cloud or to move because they were worried about call quality, they were worried about the experience. With all these new tools, with AI, with everything that you guys are releasing, this is not a problem anymore. And us at PRP, we're seeing a lot of companies wanting to migrate now from on-prem equipment to the cloud, give them that flexibility, that mobility, and so on. Are you seeing the same on your end? And like what tools or what migrations services can you offer customers to help them with it?
Yeah, it's something that we've been spending a lot of energy on trying to solve, and it's one of those things where everybody's coming from a different starting point. You could have a fairly simple PBX with people that we typically call knowledge workers, cubicles with phones sitting on the desk. And you can migrate that user just about anywhere. I mean, that's relatively easy to do. You're just moving voicemail boxes and identities. And then you have more complicated things like distributed retail, where you have thousands of sites with key system type integration, or you're emulating what a key system would do with things like simultaneous link ring hunt groups and things like that. Or maybe you're integrating other device types, right? Like not everybody's coming from a modern Cisco phone. Their starting point might be A-Link phones or Polycom phones,
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you migrate all those into any cloud platform, let alone WebEx calling? So we've spent a lot of time on that. We have a lot of energy on tooling, on supporting third-party devices, right? So how do I take that Yealink or that Polycom phone and have a good experience inside of WebEx calling? We're spending a lot of effort on that. And so one of the things that we have is we have this thing called WebEx Setup Assist, where maybe if the environment needs to do some scripting and analysis, or even things like program management, or an extra set of eyes to look at or manage migration windows, you can have Cisco engineers do that for you, and that's a program that we call WebEx Setup Assist, which is orderable when you order WebEx calling.
Cool. Julian, is there anything you would like to add, or?
Yes, I mean, just to add to that is, as well as that sort of WebEx Setup Assist service, which Brian has explained, we do have migration tools built into WebEx Control Hub. So, for example, customers that are using the Cisco Unified Communications Manager, or Call Manager, so we used to call it on premise. We do have a tool to actually aid migration. We can provide insights into migration, so you can actually export the config from the Communications Manager, upload it into Control Hub, and you can actually get a report explaining, what there is there, how you could migrate that over, and then you could actually take some of that and actually, import some of that config into Control Hub for WebEx calling. We also have partners that have got very sort of comprehensive migration tools. So for more complex environments, or maybe, other sort of vendor PBXs that you want to migrate, then we do have some partners who've got sort of migration tools that can do that.
That's cool. So Pure IP also offer migration services. So in conjunction with what you guys offer, I think this is a very good experience for customers and will help them with the migration. I know this is one of the main reasons. Migrations are one of the main reasons why the projects are being delayed. People are scared about how to approach it, what to do first. And knowing that they have that assistance from your end and the tools from your end, but also from other providers like Pure IP, I think it's really unblocking some of those blockers really that customers are seeing when trying to migrate.
And correct
Thank
me
you
if I'm wrong, Diana, but you guys are doing a lot of stuff for like PSTN, sort of phone number management and phone number
so much.
consolidation, with the porting aspect of it. I mean, that's one of the strengths that you guys have, right?
It is. So one of the main services we provide is helping customers migrate from on-prem services to the cloud, or even different between different cloud platforms. And we guide them through the number portability process. We manage their numbers on their behalf. We can have multiple trunks to multiple platforms in parallel. So on-prem in parallel with the cloud platform, just to allow them that phased migration where they keep some numbers on-prem, they keep some numbers with Webex, they keep some numbers with another cloud platform if needed. That actually takes me to the next question I had for you guys
Okay.
about other cloud platforms. What we're seeing and what I'm seeing a lot when talking to customers, especially certain verticals or bigger enterprise customers, they don't have one platform only. They like to have, they still keep some systems on-prem. They use multiple cloud platforms depending on different departments would use different platforms. And the ones we're seeing the most are Webex and Microsoft Teams. Are you guys seeing similar things, and what are you doing to kind of facilitate this integration with Teams from your end?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, we do have a full, collaboration stack with Webex. So we have the Webex app. As Brian explained, we do have, messaging in there, but we obviously recognize that a lot of customers do have Microsoft Teams on the desktop and are using that for messaging. So we do have a calling integration into Microsoft Teams with Webex Calling. So this allows users to continue to use the Microsoft Teams application, and we have a plugin in there which then allows them to basically make Webex calling calls through the Microsoft Teams client. And we have a similar integration for Webex meetings as well. And the great thing about that is it means you get all of the capability, all of the advanced features in Webex calling. We have like a sort of calling window that provides all of that capability. But again, from an end user perspective, they're not having to use another application. They are just using Microsoft Teams. And then from integration with other vendors, other applications, we have a sort of Webex app hub. So we have sort of sort of off-the-shelf integrations already. So for example, Salesforce, we have like enough, we have a integration already for that. But we also have developer APIs. So Webex calling and all the other Webex services. We've got open APIs that that developers can use to integrate into any sort of application that you want to use.
Yeah, and I just want to add, when you think about integrations or people not having, they're coming from places where they might have multiple cloud platforms, I think was the question. And I'd be remiss to say, if you think about our device strategy and what we're doing with our video devices and how we think about integration in that ecosystem, sort of separate from calling, but inclusive of adding calling into any meeting room or a personal sort of video device. Our research shows that the average person uses 2 at the minimum, but usually up to 3 conferencing providers. Great example is here we are using GoToMeeting. And so how do you deal with that if you're investing in conference room technology or a video strategy within your business? And I feel very confident to say, and all the independent analysts would agree with this, is that our ecosystem and our hardware particularly is the best meeting join experience across all of the competition. And so if you think about all of the investment that we've made into Room OS, that's the operating system that runs on all of our video devices, from RoomKit to Desk Pro to Webex boards. They all run this operating system called Room OS, and a lot of them have an NVIDIA chip built into them, which we're doing all kinds of things for audio and video intelligence with that chip. But what we're able to do is we're able to create a native meeting join experience for Microsoft. So let's say you're entirely a Microsoft Teams shop. You want to take our video devices and register it to become a Microsoft Teams room. We absolutely do that. We support that. But at the same time, you have Room OS running on that device, which gives you an amazing native meeting join experience for Webex, an amazing native meeting join experience for a Zoom call or a Google Meet call. And so we can do all of that and provide a single single joint experience for all of those things. I think that's really important to call out in one of our strengths. As it relates to all types of integrations, whether it's Salesforce.com or Zendesk or Microsoft, there's so many integrations, and if anybody's curious to look at them all or see, how can I integrate X, Y, and Z software into the Webex platform, just go to developer.webex.com and you can see everything that's on there.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Brian. We do have a question related to this. How does Cisco Webex support mobile and remote workforce in regards to telephony? So I guess the integration for mobile devices and remote workers.
Yeah, so for remote workers, I mean, the answer there is one where you're moving PSTN out of having to go into your headquarters. So you imagine the old way of doing it, which is you're on premise, and we've moved all that into the cloud, which means at home, whether you have a fixed phone, a lot of people want to have that hard phone, that plastic on their desk, even in a home office. That's still a common thing, believe it or not. In the old way, you would have to have a series of gateways and tunnels and things to get that device to register back to the PBX on your premise. But now it's just registering to the cloud. So it's super, super easy to deploy IP phones everywhere globally, because at the end of the day, it's just VoIP. And then as we alluded to earlier in this call, we're trying to do so much with compression and AI and duplication and high voice fidelity that even if your phone's on a lossy network, we're trying to do everything we can to make that experience great. But in addition to that, sort of the idea of a hybrid worker, for us, I mean, I have to say it's our investment in the video equipment and the video ecosystem. For me personally, and I'm in a hotel right now, so I don't have it with me, but Julian, I believe, is at his home office, so I'm certain that he's on one. We have Desk Pros for almost all Cisco employees. 27-inch 4K touchscreen device that works as your monitor. It charges your laptop. It is your phone. So people call me, it rings on my Desk Pro, and it creates this amazing meeting join experience, whether I'm on a Microsoft call or a Webex call. And that to me is one of our biggest strengths for hybrid work. Julian, you got anything to add there?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I have got the Desk Pro in front of me at the moment, which provides a great experience. The really good thing is that as a sort of a home and worker, mobile worker, for example, I could take a call, make a call on my mobile. When I'm maybe in the car moving around. If I get home and I go into my home office, I can just basically with sort of one swipe move that call onto the Desk Pro. So I'm suddenly moving from maybe just having audio to now I've actually got a full sort of video experience, and then I can actually start maybe sharing content, doing the whiteboard. And similarly, if I've got in a call or even a meeting and I'm starting to overrun, I maybe need to get over to school to pick up my kids. I can again just move the call to my mobile and go and sort of jump in the car. So it's really easy, really seamless to do.
That is very interesting and very helpful to know. Thank you. Should I switch gears a bit and talk about contact center? I know we touched on contact center before, but maybe just a bit more in depth about your contact center offering. What is it? How does it work? I don't know. Brian, do you want to start on that?
Yeah, so we obviously have an entire workload dedicated to contact center. We call that Webex Contact Center. Everything's under the Webex brand, under the banner, and it's all integrated at the platform level. And Webex Contact Center is really for that full-blown agent that is maybe I need multi-channel, maybe I need integration and agent support for a variety of things. And so we have that as a standalone Webex Contact Center platform, but we also integrated on the calling side, have sort of a smaller, more skinny down packages of contact center, which we're seeing a lot of growth in attached to calling. So I'll just kind of walk through that a little bit from a packaging perspective. When you buy Webex Calling, any license of Webex Calling, included in that is a really skinny down call center. So you have the ability to have agents. They use the Webex app to be able to get themselves in and out of queue and get calls. We have some native reports to that, and we call that CX Basic. It's our basic call center, and it's sort of included in Webex Calling. It's not even a SKU that you can buy. You just get it, and it's thrown in. Stepping up from that, we've recently launched in the last 6 months a product called CX Essentials, and it's sort of that mid-tier SKU, right? It's like I need more features than the freemium, but I also don't need a full-blown contact center with with agents that are somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 a month, right? I want something that meets my needs, and we're really excited about our Essentials package. So that includes today at launch. Includes everything from skills-based routing to really detailed supervisor reporting capabilities, real-time monitoring and whisper, having a supervisor barge in and listen to the call with both one way where they can whisper to the agent or two way where they can get themselves included in the conversation, with dashboards for the supervisors to manage. And that's just an add-on SKU that you can buy to Webex Calling. And then later on this year, we're going to add a multi-channel support or digital channel support, so that that Essentials tier of contact center can have digital channels coming in. Maybe it's Apple Business Chat, maybe it's SMS, maybe it's Facebook Messenger coming in and participating in the contact center, which we're really excited about. And then you step all the way up to what under the flagship of Webex Contact Center. We have two tiers of SKUs there, standard and premium. And those are all the full-blown things that you would expect from AI assistance to the agents themselves, to digital channel support, to CPaaS capabilities, where we're integrating both inbound and outbound capabilities for augmenting the contact center and things in that direction. And this is all sort of tied into the Webex platform.
That's a lot of options for customers to choose based on their requirements and what best fits their company and their contact center needs. That's brilliant. You did mention AI there and the work you're doing with AI and contact center. We do have a question about AI that I want to ask. So from the audience, are you using AI to improve the video image quality? So is that something you do? But I also want to hear from you about AI and contact center and what you're doing with AI and contact center. I don't know, Julian, if you want to take this one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we are sort of using AI to, let's say, improve video quality as well. And actually, we've been using AI for a while with video. So we've been doing things like on our video devices, and with Webex meetings, we've been doing things like speaker track, so we can actually track speakers in meetings. We've got something called people count, so we can actually count the number of people in a meeting room, and that sort of that ties into the sort of reporting that we do. It's fantastic for sort of workplace management to understand sort of room usage. But it also allows us then to for example in open spaces, we can actually use sort of people detection and people count to then create like an audio bubble around where these people are. So there's people who are not actually in the meeting. We can basically make sure that any sort of background noise doesn't sort of leak into the meeting. And then from a video perspective, we are doing a lot in terms of AI to actually improve the video, and in a similar way to what Brian spoke about with HD voice, we're doing something similar with video. So we're having to sort of downscale the video resolution because of bandwidth. We're actually now using AI techniques to effectively upscale it back up to HD. And again, the sort of video quality, if you compare it to if it was being transmitted at HD, it looks it looks fantastic compared to what it would have looked like otherwise. So that's the video piece. And then to your question around AI in contact centers, that's actually something that we've been doing a lot of development on. And we've got quite a few features that we've been rolling out. Some of them are sort of coming out very soon. But a lot of it is around improving the experience for people calling in, also improving the efficiency of agents. And also their experience. So we're doing things like sort of sentiment analysis, so actually being able to detect sort of sentiment of customers calling in. We've recently come out with agent wellness, so it actually allows the system to detect whether agents are getting burnt out, and if they are, it basically suggests that they take maybe like a very short break. and then actually possibly even provide some sort of comfort video audio to them whilst they rest. Some other features we're coming out with are agent answers, so basically suggesting answers to agents when they're getting questions from customers. We're doing sort of topic analytics, so we're basically analysing sort of topics and then again providing suggestions. Automatic customer satisfaction scores as well, so based on sort of analysis of the customer tone and how they're responding, then we can sort of get automatic customer satisfaction scores, because customers are not always going to want to do a sort of post-call survey. So again, being able to use AI to sort of get an automatic CSAT score can be very useful. Then what's really important as well is actually all the voice AI features that we spoke about. They obviously apply to contact center as well. So for people calling in to a contact center, obviously from the PSTN, that sort of optimizing the sort of the background noise removal, the upscaling narrowband to wideband, that really helps the quality of that as well.
Yeah, just to add on to that, can't speak on this enough, but because of our platform approach, between these different workloads, calling and contact center being sort of two different workloads, but all on the same platform, the work that we do to develop AI around PSTN enhancement for calling, it just automatically works for contact center. We don't have to spend more engineering cycles on it. We don't have to redo the effort. They're all on the same platform, so they all get the benefit. And the other thing I wanted to add on to about agent answers, which is really, really cool. I mean, if you think about what agent answers actually is, you're using AI to augment a human agent with intelligence from the business. So the business has a repository, or to use AI speak, might have a language model of their own inside the enterprise that provides the agent with a knowledge base. So what we do is we tap into the enterprise's language model and we present it to the agent in a contextually aware time. So if you kind of think about the dynamics there, sure, you can put everything in the public cloud. You could put context into a public language model like a Chat GPT or something, and get great answers from a knowledge base that you've piped in. But where are you going to put that data? How are you going to trust the security of that data? With Cisco, we've got a couple of options there. You can post your repository of data into our cloud, into the Cisco cloud, or we can just reference your language model, your data, your knowledge base, and provide that context to the agent in the form of agent answers. So we're really excited about the work that we're doing there.
This is very exciting, and it's something that, from talking to customers, is something customers really, really want, and it will be very, very beneficial for them. Remind me, is this feature available at the moment, or is it on the roadmap? And will it be a different license associated with it, or do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, so the agent answers capability we're doing right now with a partnership. Well, we have a couple of partnerships. One with Google for sure, and we have our own language model that's already launched. So you can use the Cisco-based LLM to do some agent answers things there. The things I spoke about referencing an on-premise or an enterprise data warehouse knowledge base for the agents is still roadmap.
Thank you. Should we switch gear a bit? I know we said at the beginning that if we have some time left, and we do have a few minutes left, we'll talk about Control Hub. I don't know if, Brian, you want to touch a bit on the Control Hub, like a quick overview of the platform, a quick overview of how is it used and the features there.
Control Hub really is our strength when I look across sort of the competitive landscape of, hey, I want to move my business to a cloud collaboration or calling platform. Who do I choose? I would say Control Hub is one of our big strengths. It certainly rises above the competition. And Diana, we could spend an hour just talking about.
That's why I said a quick overview.
The one thing I'll just say quickly, and then Julian can go into some of the other fascinating and really detailed things that we're doing is in Control Hub, but whatever workload you're consuming, Webex meetings, entitlements and licenses that go around Webex meetings, Webex calling and the different calling packages or call centers that you might build, the devices that you register, right? So I obviously am a big evangelist for our Desk Pros and our RoomKit series and our Webex boards. You plug all those in. Any of that is managed all in Control Hub where if you want to see your call center reports, like how many agents did every do, it's just a couple of mouse clicks in Control Hub. This conference room that I built, how many people are actually using it? Very easy to see that in Control Hub. My PSTN numbers that I all got through Pure IP. What locations are they and what countries are they? You see it all in Control Hub. And so there's a lot more there. We could talk about Thousand Eyes. We could talk about some of the analytics that we're doing. I'll leave that to Julian, but it's our single pane of glass for managing everything under the Webex banner to really a superpower for administrators and end users.
Julian, is there?
Yeah, and I think what I'd add to that is, is the fact that we do have, very powerful analytics, troubleshooting, reporting, all included as part of that. I know, Brian, you mentioned Thousand Eyes, which is a solution from Cisco that provides end-to-end network visibility, into cloud platforms, not only Cisco. We actually have that supported on our phones, on our video devices, on desktops as well. And we actually, as well as having a separate portal, we also have it actually integrated into Control Hub. So you can actually sort of troubleshoot a Webex call or a Webex meeting and actually get the end-to-end network visibility to be able to pinpoint if there's a problem somewhere specific, in the network.
Julian, I got to add on to that because we have our AI assistant in the Webex app, and anybody can Google it for a quick demo. Like, what is the AI assistant? It's kind of a companion to the Webex app to summarize spaces and things like that. And it's a language model that we built. Take the Webex assistant, put it in Control Hub. The Control Hub AI assistant is not launched yet, but it's already in beta. We're already using it internally. Exactly what Julian just described. I want to take analytic data from Control Hub, drill down to Thousand Eyes to see packets on the wire level of inspection of what the heck's going on in the network that's causing this poor experience for the end user. In the past, or in present day, I guess you could say, you have to know what you're doing in Thousand Eyes. You have to probably do a handful of mouse clicks. You have to know the device you're going to go click on. Well, we have it internally. We've demoed it. We use it. It's really, really powerful. You can use natural language to ask the AI assistant, hey, Diana said that she had a bad call on Tuesday. Can you show me Diana's calls that had poor MOS scores or poor audio scores? It'll spit back, hey, on Tuesday, Diana was on a call and, sure enough, we saw this period of time where MOS scores dipped below 3.0 or whatever. Then you can say, show me the network path. You just say it in natural language, and it'll show you a beautiful graph from Thousand Eyes of exactly all the hops that call took, any of the latency or packet loss that it experienced across the wire. And within seconds, an administrator can say, was this an issue on the WAN or the LAN? And if it was on the WAN, where at in the WAN? Very, very powerful with natural language. And you can start all of that analysis that I just described from a couple of prompts inside of Control Hub.
Wow, this is amazing. I did have the option of using Thousand Eyes before, a while back, while I was still working in engineering and networking, and I know how powerful the tool is. But I also know how it can be difficult to use sometimes. So in combination with AI and what you described, I think that is amazing and empowers the users to get so much information and so much easier than before. This is really, really helpful.
Yeah, we're excited to launch it. The assistant for Control Hub is not out yet, but it will be very soon.
That's good to know. Thank you. We are coming close to the end of our chat here. We do have one question left from the audience. Can you add Webex Calling to Teams? Is there integration available? I know we touched on this before, so we described it, but maybe if you want to mention it again.
I'll just touch it briefly. I said in the opener, right, like we put everything under the banner of Webex, but you might never use the Webex app or a Webex meeting and still find tremendous value out of Webex calling. And so what does that mean? What does that look like? So kind of to the heart of this person's question, if I use Teams every day as my productivity and collaboration app, does that mean automatically that I should go buy an E5 license from Microsoft and find a PSTN provider to integrate me into their ecosystem? I would say no. And a lot of that is because if you think about our lineage and history with all things calling and call control, all the things that we can do in the platform from hunt groups to auto attendants to to the call center experiences that we're building for agents, which is like natively included in the platform. How can I just bolt that into Microsoft Teams? Well, we can, we do. Julian touched on it, but I'll add to it. We have an integrator. It's a client side integrator. So your Teams admin has to add it to your Teams. So anybody that's a Teams admin goes in and search for the Webex Calling integration. You install it into your Teams organization. And what that does is it gives you call control. It gives you visual voicemail. It gives you call setting management, all native to the Teams interface. And then a companion app that runs in it. You actually use the Webex app as a companion app. It's very, very small, hides in the system tray. When the UI comes up for active call management, we actually emulate the look and feel of the Teams app. So for an end user, it just looks like they're in a calling window. And then when they actually want to go look at their voicemail or change their call settings, they're doing all of that natively from the Teams experience. And so we've spent a lot of time. So everything I just described is already in the platform. It's actually been in the platform for quite a while. So if you're a Teams user and you're on the fence about, or you're thinking about, or you're about to jump in and go all E5 with Microsoft and think about a painful migration from, say a Cisco on-premise environment to everything Microsoft, I would say pause, review what we're doing now with our Teams integration, because it serves a lot of the need, a lot of the use cases, and we have more robust call control and call management, for things like hunt groups, auto attendants, and call centers than what Microsoft is doing. And you'll find a whole lot more use out of moving your calling to the Webex cloud and integrating it into Teams than you will be from moving your calling from whatever system you're in now into Teams. And so that's what I would say.
Thank you, Brian. Any final thoughts from you, Julian, or for you, Brian, before we close?
Yeah, the only thing I would say, thanks everybody for their time. You really appreciate the discussion. Diana, thank you for hosting. Anybody who's considering, right, they're on the fence, or they're evaluating, or they're starting the evaluation process of, okay, I've decided I'm going to go to the cloud for voice. Who do I pick? What do I do? I think when I think about our strengths, or what's really powerful about our platform, Gartner actually said it best, is that Cisco is the Apple of UCaaS. And what they mean by that is we've beautifully integrated, intentionally integrated great hardware with great software. So if you look beyond just calling and you say, what does it mean to run my office, the office of the future, my organization? I have people that are hybrid. I have people that are in the office that need to collaborate with one another, that need to be part of call centers, that need to, have this hybrid voice environment and have conference rooms that work for everybody's needs. Nobody does it better than we do, and that's something that I'm really proud of.
Thank you, Brian. Julian, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I think to add to Brian, what I would say is, Cisco, we've been in the calling and contact center market for sort of 25 years, and we sort of, started at the, revolutionized the move from sort of TDM to IP. And then obviously more recently, from on-prem to cloud. And I think we're quite unique because we've been talking a lot about WebEx and cloud, but actually we still have on-premise solutions for calling and for contact center, and we can do hybrid deployments of cloud and on premises, because not all of our customers are ready to fully move, to cloud. So that's something that we can do, and I think like we've explained, we're very focused on sort of user experience around, intelligent central management, also security. That's a big thing that we've been focused on. And again, as we've explained, sort of media quality as well. So I think those are real differentiators that we have.
Thank you. Thank you both for joining me today. It was great having you. I've learned a lot, and I hope our customers and guests learned a lot and found this useful too. If you have any additional questions, or if there are any additional questions from people joining us, please send them over to sales@pure-ip.com. We will send the recording out in the coming days to everybody that joined and registered for the webinar. And yeah, thank you again for your time. And if you are based in Europe, have a nice evening. If you're based in the US or anywhere in the world, have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Diana. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.